Guys, what is happening? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means I help you feel better and perform better. Today, I was asked a question about what's positive psychology? Does that mean there's a negative psychology? Well, I would say that the opposite of positive psychology is just psychology, in the sense that the general definition of positive psychology is a scientific study that makes life worth living. So, where psychology focuses on a person's deficits or what is wrong with the person, positive psychology focuses on the person's strengths and what is right with them. So, if you look at it from a scale, it is from languishing to flourishing. Okay, just getting by to thriving. Now, there's a lot of research that comes into this new field of psychology. One is that money doesn't have nearly as much influence over our happiness as we think it does. Second is that spending money on experiences provides a better boost to happiness than spending money on material possessions. The other thing is gratitude is a big contributor to happiness in life. Other is oxytocin may provide trust, empathy, and morality, meaning that hugs and other signs of physical affection may give people an overall big boost in their well-being. Fifth is if you give a little bit of effort into creating a positive mood to match your outward emotion to display, this is kind of called emotional labor, like if you force a smile, eventually you will feel those endorphins being released in your mind. That's the facial feedback hypothesis. Happiness is contagious, so those with happy friends are more significantly to be much more happier, those you surround yourself with. And there's also research stating that people who perform acts of kindness towards others not only get a boost in their well-being, but they're also more accepted by their peers. So I have a master's in applied positive psychology and coaching psychology, and the reason that I chose that course was when I initially began doing a lot of research into the mind and in psychology, I was seeing that there were a lot of things out there being studied, which was studying the abnormality. And I didn't find much about motivation, much about happiness, until I discovered that positive psychology was a thing and that Martin Seligman had introduced it. How can we get our lives to the best possible self?
I'm the best. I'm the best.
How can we get our lives to become that much more impactful? Also, another thing that really interested me about this course was that it was combining positive psychology with coaching, and I really wanted to be a coach. I wanted to study coaching in university, and that's not something that a lot of people decide to be, especially coaches nowadays. You can sort of proclaim yourself as a coach nowadays, but I really wanted to go in depth and figure out what was the actual science behind coaching. It's also important to note that this is very, very different from untested self-help. So this is different from The Secret. It's not a recycled version of The Power of Positive Thinking or any of those books, right? And the science goes out towards really looking at different factors of, multidimensional flourishing to, noticing resilience in different areas, studying optimism and well-being and positive emotions. This really goes deep, guys, and it's not some kind of fluffy new age advice. This is actual science.
What a fine day for science.
With anything new, it's going to leave a room for skepticism for people.
Tony, what's going on?
And since this is relatively a new field, and it's slowly emerging over the time, people are sensing it and seeing the boost of flow, especially in the workplace, and how flow can increase performance 400%, and all of these different studies coming out now really showing the scientific literature on this. It's becoming much more normal. So we're sort of always pushing the boundary, pushing the edges of human potential. And it's really important for people to be much more open-minded and accepting of these new ideas if we really want to move forward as a global community. So when we speak of well-being, we look at this commonly held model called PERMA. So PERMA is an acronym which stands for positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and achievement or accomplishment. This is a channel about the flow state. So flow, the concept of flow was first initially scientifically explored and defined by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, and you need kind of a flow state to pronounce his name. But he's our second founding father of positive psychology in the decades of the 1900s.
Focus, concentration, a merging of action and awareness, a loss of self-consciousness, this kind of control, personal control or agency of a situation, distorted sense of time passing, and experiencing something as intrinsically rewarding.
I think it's important because in the future we're going to see a lot more human potential and a lot more human advancement in terms of achievement, as well as people, scurrying past certain goals, as well as being able to, really start to see the world in a very new way. Because if we start to focus more on the positive, that is what is going to grow. And if we constantly focus on the negative, and I understand like misery loves company, and it's important for us to acknowledge that the negative is there, but there's a second wave of positive psychology that states that we need to regard the negative in order to get much more positive, because we got to understand that the other side of the coin in order to embrace the integration of the whole coin. So Csikszentmihalyi coined the term flow because in his qualitative research, he noticed that a lot of people were using that term flow to describe the flow state. I don't know if you noticed already, but take a look around you. Take a look at the people around you. Take a look at people with their heads down in the subways. Take a look around you and notice how much mental illness is going on. How many people are actually really, really sad with their lives. Like psychology, yes, we can heal through psychology, but then what? We just reach a level of neutrality? No, we've got to reach beyond. We as human beings, we've always had this expansive nature to grow beyond the norm, to grow even above just surviving and into thriving. And once you can get into thriving, it's like, where's the next level? We're constantly going to want to grow, because that's in our DNA. And I feel that positive psychology is a branch of that. It's going to allow people to slowly retune and rewire their minds for a lot more happiness and a lot more courage so that they can move forward and really shape their lives the way that they want it to be shaped and not how society is shaping it. I hope you enjoy this video. Have an amazing day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary.